Well, I kind of do after playing this game. Welcome to Gamesplaning. I am Udalad, your host, and today we'll be having a look at Darksiders 2, the sequel to Darksiders. Now, I've been playing a bit of Darksiders, the first game. Before this, I made a Gamesplaning last week, and I thought, yeah, why not make of the second one as well, with the Darksiders 3 coming out quite soon. And to be honest, playing the games back to back, I was quite disappointed. But let's go through some of the basics about the game to begin with. So the game, Darksiders, it is a third-person action game, quite like the first one. In this game, you play Death, another one of the four horsemen, and you're trying to help your brother War, who, as we know from the first game, is being judged by the council as the one that doomed humanity and such. You're trying to find someone that can help him, and you find out that, oh yes, you can use the Tree of Life to reverse the crime by resurrecting all the humans. Now, I don't know how that will go, like all the humans will resurrect and probably die again. But, you know, that seems like a human problem, not a death problem. This game has quite the similar systems to the first one. Obviously they wanted to go for the same kind of feeling, but a different aesthetic. In the first one, you play a lot on Earth, like the ruined Earth. In this game, you are not on Earth, you're on some other planet or plane, where there are the makers who basically made the worlds, from what I understand. And these guys, they're apparently very good at making stuff, hence the makers. But yeah, this game, I don't know how to describe it. It came a couple of years after the first Darksiders, and it was during that time when everyone felt that games needed stats and gear and equipment. That is a downside to this game, I think. I don't know, I just like the more simplistic feeling of the first one, where it's, you have your sword, you get your special items, you don't have any stats for them, you just know that they deal damage. I killed this guy in 3 hits, that's the only thing you know. You don't know how much health he has or how much you deal per hit. It's like arbitrary numbers, really. But you know, I kill him in 3 hits, this is a hard enemy because it takes a long time to kill and things like that. It's a bit more about the gimmicks of the different items that you find. Like with the boomerang blade that you get as War. Certain enemies, you have to throw it at the enemies before you can actually attack them, because otherwise you'll get poisoned and basically die from attacking them. But this game, it has its flaws. To begin with, I had some very serious problems with controls, as you can see on this part here. Like, for some reason the climbing controls didn't really want to work for me. I'm not sure why. Later on in the game they worked out fine, but just this part was really annoying. I had to, like, this took way too long. Anyway, I had some problems as well with sound. As you probably will be able to tell, like, from the background sounds. The sound just, like, the sound mix, it didn't really work. I tried to get this to work, but it was just fucked up every time. I don't know why. Just like the sound effects being super high and the music not so much. Now this is the skill tree. The skill tree itself, it's kind of fine, I guess, but I feel like most of the abilities that Death get are very weak compared to War's. With War, yeah, your abilities cost a lot to use, but they are very strong. Like, you basically almost one-shot most enemies with them. In this, with Death, you feel really weak. Like that Reaper Slash that I just upgraded, very shit. Like, oh yes, this ability, it's a dash and you're supposed to get healed. But it doesn't heal you a lot, and it doesn't damage anything. It's very bad. Here you can see a bit of the equipment system. You know, for some reason, they decided to add this. I'm not sure why. I don't like it. Anyway, I just feel like there were very many bad decisions in this game. From the equipment system to how the abilities worked to just general, like, it doesn't feel as smooth for some reason. Yes, the combat is smoother in a way, don't get me wrong, but the how should I say it? A lot of the abilities doesn't seem to chain together as they're supposed to. As you could see before, I was fighting a demon, hit him up into the air. It's really hard to juggle enemies. Like, with war, it's super easy. You do an attack that throws people up into the air. They're still close to you. It's meant for you to be able to jump up and start attacking them in the air. In this, not so much. The attacks doesn't chain together as well. A lot of the combos seems a bit too intricate to be using. Like, I mostly use my secondary weapon, as you can see here. For some reason, you have a main weapon, which are your scythes, which I feel like should be the strongest weapon for death. But you have a secondary weapon as well, which can be like I think it can be a hammer or like gauntlets that you use that are very quick. Now, in most of the early game, I felt like the Warhammer was the obvious choice, and that doesn't really make me feel like death. I want to feel like death. This game doesn't give me the feeling of me being death, the horseman of the apocalypse that determines whether people die or live. Not really. In the first one, yes, you feel like war, you feel strong, your weapon is heavy, you have your rage ability where you turn into basically a fucking demon, and you just slaughter enemies. In this, you're death. Like, I was expecting a lot of life-stealing abilities. In this, you don't heal that much. In the first game, in the first Darksiders, where you play war, every time you kill an enemy, you usually gain souls and wrath, and sometimes health. Killing harder enemies grants you health, because yes, you've probably taken damage. As you can see in this fight, like, the Reaper Slash doesn't heal anything, I don't get any health like throughout the fight. The only thing I have are these kind of health potions that you can use, and they heal you a lot. But they cost you the currency of the game. Like, you have to buy these. You can find them, but you have to buy them as well if you run out. And that's like your only reliable way to heal. I feel like that is super bad. Obviously, a plus side on the game is the executions are still in place. I just love executions in games. Mostly though, I feel like I've been cheated a bit by it, because they just proc immediately after you've defeated a boss, for example. I defeat a boss, I don't have to press anything. All of a sudden, I am this Reaper Soul kind of guy, and just slaughtering this guy, cutting him up. I feel like it should be more like... I feel like I should press something to do this. Not just... It just happens, it turns into a cutscene, basically. Not an execution. It turns into a cutscene. I feel like the bosses aren't as well designed. The first boss that you just saw, he was kind of easy. He could have been a normal enemy. This guy, though, a bit more gimmicky. I kind of like this boss a bit more. He drops down these seeds from the ceiling, or eggs rather, that you throw at him. When you throw it at them, he becomes vulnerable. You can attack him, but it also brings out one of his children, and you have to kill that first. Well, you don't have to, but otherwise you'll get fucked in the ass like that. But yeah, Darksiders 2. I like the game, but I like the style and the feeling of the game. But I feel like they kind of fucked it up. Playing it back to back, they kind of fucked it up. I have fond memories from when I first played this. I really liked it. I thought it was fun, things like that. But now playing them back to back, there is a very big quality difference. And I hope that this isn't the same with Darksiders 3. I'm very excited for Darksiders 3, and I just hope that it holds the same standard as the first one, playing Fury. But yeah, obviously this game as well having kind of dungeon-like missions. It's more of an open world in this, I'd say. The world feels bigger and more open, but the game itself, for like it's still based on like dungeons, kind of like the first one. In this though, so much shorter dungeons. They were very short. I completed like in the last game it took me 1.5 hours to complete one of the dungeons. In this, in 3 hours, I played like a total of 3 hours in this, and that basically made it so that I could. Yeah, I've completed the entire tutorial and 2 temples in 3 hours, which is a lot less. And the bosses are way easier. This, like, that execution on that boss, it's kind of sweet, I gotta say. Kind of good. But yeah, for my final thoughts on the game, I like Darksiders. I like the idea of these horsemen. I kind of want a full circle kind of thing where you played all the horsemen and finally get a solution to the story. Obviously it's been like pushed back a bit from THQ being like bought up and the game is not being produced for a while. But yeah, I kind of like the idea. Now I just hope that they can make a better job with the third one than the second one. I've already said that, but it really disappointed me when I played them back to back. One thing I feel that is very good about this game, as I said, it feels more fluid. They kind of gotten the way you dodge and fight, except with the weapons. They've gotten it quite good with death as well as with war, because like war is a lot more about like he has this kind of dash ability, whereas death you can see like he rolls around a lot. He's way more agile than war, way more agile. And I kind of like that style. He is supposed to be the more agile one. He doesn't have any armor. He only has his 2 scythes. Things like that. But yeah, not a bad game. Not as good as the first one. But that's my thought on it. Or my thoughts, rather. I hoped you liked the video, and I hoped I've explained a bit about Darksiders 2, and maybe you guys get some interest, want to try it out. There is a definitive version on Steam, which is quite good. Like, it has updated graphics, quite okay graphics, and as I said, it's quite smooth. It's an okay game. But yeah, that's all I have to say about it. Go down, like, subscribe, leave a comment what you think about the Darksiders games. I would love to know. And I will see you next time.
But an earthquake drove us from the foundry, and now I fear something else roams within. The Guardian was never finished.
If the Guardian is your masterwork, how am I to complete him?
In the forest lies another construct, one of the few remaining who have not fallen to corruption. He is not as vast as the Guardian, but his heart is strong. Seek him out, and he will guide you to the foundry. There, you may activate the Guardian using the Maker's Key.